All right, great. I'd like to thank you for doing this interview with the Hype Magazine tonight.
Absolutely.
And to get started, can you tell the fans and listeners who you are and where you're from?
I'm the CEO of B Stone Western. I'm from Houston, Texas. Yes.
Okay, great. So, with you being from Houston, Texas, did it make it easier for you or harder for you to create your own fashion line?
That's a good question. I think easier.
Okay.
Um, just a little bit, only just because the culture here. I grew up around the culture. I think that that's the most important part to creating having authenticity in your brand.
Yeah.
You know, you're around the culture, you're submerged in it, so it's easier for
Okay.
sure.
Now, had you already had clothing? Were you already a fashion designer, or when you started your Western wear, that was kind of your first chance start at being in the design world?
Um, you said when I first started, did I was I already designing?
Yeah. So, were you already a fashion designer when you started your
Yes,
brand? Okay.
yes. So I used to design for all the HBCUs.
Oh, dope.
So I used to design dancewear.
Okay.
And so all the dancers that you see with the bands, I used to do their uniforms. And then from there, just being immersed in the Houston culture and being around horses all my life, having a ranch, my family, just being around the culture, I would go to different stores, and I just saw that it was such the market was open for something different.
Yeah.
And so that made me birth Be Stone.
So you said you used to help with the HBCUs. Congratulations on that. That's amazing accomplishment. How
Yeah.
did you get your foot in the door to even get that opportunity in the first place?
That's like I love these questions. um, so I used to dance professionally.
Okay.
And as a professional dancer, you get exposed. You know, you meet different people, meet different coaches. I used to own dance studios around the city of Houston,
Okay.
and from owning dance studios and um, just knowing so many different people. Once I started to do dance wear, um, I first started off doing it for the high schools and middle schools and things like that.
Okay.
Then I moved to the colleges, and so I pretty much reached out to all of the colleges and said, "Hey, I have a new dancewear company. I would love to put you in it." And from there, it just kept going and going and going. So
Do you
yeah,
think
that was my start.
do you think because you were a dancer already, you had already came up with those relationships that made it easier for you to get your opportunity?
Well, I think because I was a dancer, it was easy for me to design for them.
Okay.
They understood like a dancer for a dancer by a dancer. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I understood the woman's body, understood the dancer's body. So it was easy for me to create and make sure that my garments really helped them in regards to the performance.
Yeah.
And so I connected with them easier. I would say than just a normal vendor, you know. But I definitely feel like having understanding dance and having a dance background helped me navigate the forefront. Definitely.
No. Now I seen you did something with the Golden Girls. I saw on your Instagram. It was a stadium. They're
Yeah,
rocking your outfits and all that.
yeah.
How does it feel to be able to see the stars shining the way they are in your dance wares and the creations you've made?
Um, it's always a good feeling, to see something that's just the idea come to life.
Yeah.
So when I would see the dancers after we just have a conversation or we come up with an idea and then there it goes from idea to vision,
Yeah.
it's always an amazing thing to see. So I think that like that will always be the highlight for me to actually see them performing in it for sure.
Now, I know you started Beast on Western Wear because you wanted to fill a void, just like your dance wear, wanted to fill a void there. What was it about your design ability and what you were lacking that you felt that you could fill the void for and made you create the line in the first place?
Well, what I saw when I would go to just say your traditional stores like
Yeah.
Cavender's or Boot Barn, I saw everything looked alike.
Yeah.
I didn't see I didn't see anything that was I mean, of course, I'm a minority, a
Yep.
woman, a minority person, a minority. I am submerged in the culture here and what we wear to trail rides and what how we individualize things.
Yeah.
I didn't really see that, and so that's what made me want to start Be Stone Western. I wanted to bring something fresh and an urban take
Yeah.
on Western wear. I thought that that was very important. Representation in general is very important. So I just felt like it was so for us to be so such submerged in this culture, and I mean the cowboy culture, black cowboys. It's a huge thing here. So to be living that, I felt like the clothes that I would see wasn't represented in the stores,
Yep. Thanks.
and so I said, I want to start something, a brand that represented that.
Okay. So let's take a view of it. Like when you decide, hey, there's a void here, I'm gonna be the one to fill this void. What was your first step? Did you have somebody that had a storefront you were able to go in? How did you get your company started when you kind of were just starting out?
It's a great question. So what I did was different people that I talked to because my husband, he was a cowboy, a roper.
Okay. Yeah.
And so we would travel around the city
Yeah.
and sorry, my son.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
We
He wants to be in the camera too.
we would travel around the city of Houston, well, around Texas. And um I would meet so many people and I would tell them about my brand.
Yeah.
And this one particular guy told me, he said, hey, if you're interested in starting a Western wear company, you should go to this event called WESA.
Yeah.
And WESA is like a Western market. It's like magic, but for Western.
Yep.
And what that is just all the vendors gather there. Ariat, Wrangler, Levi's, all these top brands, they gather in one place and it's all things Western. So I went there
Dope. Great.
and I was interested to see, I was excited to see were there going to be other people of color there?
Yeah.
Were there going to be other brands represented there that maybe look like mine? And it wasn't.
Yeah. Can you go
And
back a
so,
little bit, like time
yeah,
frame wise? We know right now country is on the rise and everybody's
yes.
really going towards it. When was it when you started going to these conventions and trying to get your foot in the door?
It started in 2022.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect timing.
2022. And from there, he wants to be on camera.
What's up, man?
From say hi, puppy.
He said, I want that phone. I don't care about none of this. How you doing, man?
So, so from there, get that puppy. So from there,
Yeah.
we so from 2022, I started going to conventions, meeting different people, meeting different brands like Wrangler area, letting them know what I was about to start. And they were like, yeah, we would love to work with you. We would love to, come out and see your store, all of that great stuff.
Yeah.
And it just kind of grew from there. But I also started, before I actually started my first collection, I started to do customs. So
Okay.
I
Yeah.
started to create custom Western garments for different artists, like the Zydeco world, like J. Paul. That's like a huge Zydeco artist. Different people around the city. My first actual celebrity country artist was K. Michelle. So
Yeah, I
this was
saw
just
that.
her. Yeah, it was her first um, um, like right before, like she had been talking about she wanted to do country for a long time,
Yeah.
and like reached out to her. I just started sending emails to just different people. I didn't know if I would get a response or not,
Yeah.
and just all of a sudden they're like, "Yeah, let's do it,"
A
and it
lot of
just
times
happened.
that's the secret sauce that they don't understand, and it takes a little bit of craziness to get in this game. It takes a little bit of I'm going to do something that most people would say is never going to happen, but lo and behold, you reached out to K Michelle and her team responds. You know what I mean? So that's a great accomplishment for you. What was it you think about your designs that caught her attention? Because she's a famous artist at that time. She could go anywhere she wanted to, but she liked what you guys were doing and what you created. What do you think stood out to her?
I think, well, for one, I was a K Michelle fan.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I was a K Michelle fan, so I understood some of the things she loves sound towers. She loved me, you know. I understood her from a fan perspective, and then I combined it as a designer. So I really was strategic in what the things that I created for her. And I mean, her manager saw it and was like, "Yeah, she would love this," and we just instantly clicked.
That's amazing. Now you're the first female black
So I
owned
definitely
urban.
think that. Um,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. There was a delay.
no, I didn't. The phone it kind of broke up a little bit. I didn't hear you.
Oh, I was going to say, so you're the first female black-owned urban Western store owner in Houston. How's that feel to know from 2022 to
Yes.
2025, you now have your own store, you now recognize in the culture of Houston as the go-to place? How's that feel for you?
Feels great. Um, I think that, like I kind of said earlier, when something is just a baby and you grow it, I didn't know how big it was gonna be. I just knew that God gave me a vision and just
Yeah.
told me to go. I didn't know how I was gonna get it done. I didn't even know how I was gonna be perceived or received from people. Um, but it just did. I just stayed true to myself. So it feels good to
Yeah.
really see people love your ideas and love the things that you create.
Yeah. And you said around 2022, like I said, right now, cowboy music is everywhere again. Everybody wants to be
Yes.
a cowboy star, but you kind of were at the forefront of that a little bit. How does it feel to see how popular country is, and not just from, perspective of the white culture, but from the urban culture that you represent so well?
Man, it's crazy. It's everywhere. Um, and when I started reaching out to people in 2022, I'm not gonna say nobody was laughing at me or anything like that. It's just that they didn't,
They
it
couldn't see it.
wasn't what it is now,
Yeah.
you know? So I just feel like everything's about timing. Everything's about timing. So I feel like it happened at the right time.
Yeah.
And even when I met with K Michelle and sent my designs to her, she didn't wear my outfits right then. It wasn't until maybe 2023.
Okay.
The same things that I did for her in 2022. In 2023, I was just in a drive-through at Wendy's, and I was on look at my phone, writing on my food, and I saw on my Instagram that she wore the outfit, and I'm like, "Wow!"
Yeah.
And it just all happened right when Beyonce started doing this, and all these things happened. It just all happened at one time. And
Yeah.
then the next thing was my opportunity. After that was my opportunity to work with Glorilla. So it just all happened.
Okay, so you got to design for Glorilla. Can you take us through that process? Like, how did you meet Glow, and how did it feel? Like, K Michelle is an amazing artist, but you're talking Glorilla right now. She's one of the hottest artists in the world. So, how does it feel to work with her?
So that was amazing. So I have a brand manager.
Okay.
So my brand manager just knows a lot of different people, and her team reached out to me. Her stylist, EJ, I believe it's EJ King. He reached out to my brand, and they were coming to Houston. So
Okay.
they knew that
Yeah.
I was located in Houston, and they saw an outfit that I did for K Michelle
Yeah.
on my Instagram,
Yeah.
and they reached out to my brand manager and asked if I could create for her. So this is when she was opening it up for Meg Thee Stallion. They were on tour together,
Okay.
and I had the opportunity to create two outfits for her on that tour here in Houston.
Now you
So
said
that
your
was
husband.
amazing.
You said your husband's from the cowboy culture. What's it like to have someone like him a part of your family and be able to bounce ideas off of, the cowboy culture, as you said, to make sure when you create a design for someone, it's going to fit what they want, because cowboy culture is a very fine, special organization. You guys are well knit, really love each other well. So how did you bounce ideas off your husband to make sure you represented that culture the right way?
I think he was definitely a big part of my support system. He really kind of, you know, I really learned a lot from him. I lived in it and was around it my whole life, but from him and traveling with him, I learned so much about being a cowboy.
Yeah.
So that really helped me when designing too. For men and women, I don't showcase a lot of like my men's stuff yet, but I have a lot in store for my guys
Okay.
just
Yeah.
because I've really been studying them, and he really helped me just really submerge me in what real cowboys do,
Yeah.
and just not what you see on TV, just not what people think cowboys do, but real life. I got to see it myself, and so I think he was very helpful with just keeping me authentic
Yeah.
to um, the brand in general.
I seen you did a custom jacket for cowboy legend Dymond Tipton at the National Black Cowboy Rodeo Awards. So, what
Yeah.
was it like working with this legend? He's one of the first black cowboys on the Wheaties box. His credentials are through the roof. So, what was it like working with him? And how did you come up with the design that you created to make it a custom thing for him?
First, Danielle is amazing. He's so
Yeah.
sweet. And Cowboys, he's a real cowboy, right? So Cowboys, like they know what they want.
Yep.
They're not gonna let you put them in anything. They're not if he don't like bling, they're real simple. And
Yep.
he's like that. So it was really amazing working with him. He let me know what he wanted, what he did not want. And I came up just based off meeting with him a couple of times. I understood the direction he wanted to go. I came up with a couple of designs, and he he told me, "I trust you,"
Yeah.
you know, and he let me do my thing. And so I knew he was like he's very simple but effective. So I knew my design, had to be really streamlined for his aesthetic, but still true to the brand.
Yeah. So maybe that's your first male line is the Dymond Tipton, edition, but then let everybody have something customized,
Oh, I
from
love that. We have to talk to him about that.
now. What was your
He was
experience
like,
like? I know that was an amazing event for the cowboy culture. A shout out to Sincere, my partner. She helped a lot with
yes.
that. What was your experience being there?
Well, at the BCRAs,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh my gosh, I got to meet so many people. Now, I didn't know when I got there that so many people knew about my brand.
Fire.
As I wore a custom outfit that I made, and so people were asking me, "Where'd you get your outfit from?" I'm like, "I made it," and
Yeah.
they're like, "I'm like, I have a brand called B Stone." They're like, "B Stone is your brand?"
Yeah. It's amazing.
And it was amazing just to see. Oklahoma and Texas not far, but these are people from other states. They
Yeah.
knew my brand, and I think Western culture is big, but it's small. It's still tight knit, but it's still renowned, and everybody's getting to know. The world is getting to know. So it's really amazing to see. Well, it was amazing to see that people knew
Yeah.
my brand. I
Yeah.
just wasn't expecting that.
It means you're doing a lot of great things. Was it hard to get in the cowboy brand, in the cowboy arena for merchandise? You mentioned Wrangler. We always think of those as different types of clothing brands. Was it hard to get your entry point?
Um, a little,
Yeah.
a little. I would say a little. I think with anything new, um, and kind of unfamiliar territory, you have to break down walls. You have to be persistent. You have to take no for an answer.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a very persistent person, so I'm going to keep going until I get the yes.
Do you remember one of the first no's that you were able to overcome? Like they told you couldn't do this because you didn't have whatever they tried to set against you, but you were quickly able to counter that. You remember that moment for you?
Absolutely. I would say it was a hat brand I really wanted to work with.
Okay.
It's a huge hat brand. I won't say the name,
Yeah.
but it was a huge hat brand that I wanted to work with, and um, you had to have a certain amount of, I would say, years
Mm.
maybe of experience.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, I have years of experience in this area, and I'm bringing all the different requirements that they were asking me. I met them.
Yeah, just
So
not
I
knowing that
didn't
was.
understand why they were telling me that they couldn't, give me an account. And I stayed. I mean, I stayed on them. I stayed on it. I kept going. And at first they told me no. They told me no 3 times.
Okay. Yeah.
And every year I went back. And actually, this year I got the yes. So,
Yeah.
so I think that a lot of people give up when
Yep.
they hear no, when things get tough, when it doesn't look like you're gonna get there.
Yep.
I can understand why people kind of say, okay, maybe this is not for me, or maybe this is not the right path. But you got to keep going no matter what.
Yeah. And I love that too because there's so many people that want to be entrepreneurs. I deal with a lot of music artists. They all say they want to be in the game. They all want this dream, but then they get that first no and then they stop. I'm like, well, if it was that easy, everybody would be that star. Like, most people take 50 no's before they even get the first yes. So I wanted to highlight that for you because I know you're overcoming a lot of obstacles and you got a smile on your face when you're doing it. So it's a great thing for you. With some of those old brands, I'm not real familiar with the cowboy culture, but some of those brands are etched in stone. Did you have a hard time getting them to shift their mind from, say, the Wranglers and the Stetsons and all these, iconic brands to come to the B Stone brand that you created?
Absolutely. I'm still working on it. It's
Okay.
still a work in progress. You know, I haven't hit the nail on, I haven't broke down every wall yet,
Yeah.
but I'm still breaking them down.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I'm not going to stop until I get each one, you know? So it's still a journey. Um, but I can say that my through my experience, not everyone is as receptive,
Yeah.
but a lot of people are.
Yeah.
A lot of
Have
people
you
are.
thought about partnering with more of the people from the gala? Like I had a chance to interview Zach Guest and Maya, amazing power couple from the Pony Express. Like, have you thought about reaching out to some of the writers and try and partner with them to get your brand out there at the same time, uplift what they're doing?
Absolutely. So a lot of the I would say they call it the patch circuit. You can say
Mhm.
that. So my goal is to partner with female cowgirls,
Yeah.
and sponsor them and put my brand on them. So when you see bull riders or rodeo, like when you see cowboys and cowgirls in competitions,
Yeah.
and you see their patches like Cavenders or all these different things like that, they're sponsored by their brand,
Yeah.
and so you got to have the funds to sponsor these
Yeah.
cowboys and cowgirls, and so ultimately that's my goal. I feel like the girls are underestimated. They don't really get a lot of the representation
Yeah.
when it comes to competing. They don't get a lot of the sponsorships. So I want B Stone to be the forefront for
That's right.
all things women rodeo.
That's an amazing goal, and I think it's very attainable for you because, like I said, there's a lot of old guard involved in this. But with you being new, fun, you make fly clothes that fit the right way. It
Yeah,
works perfectly. It's a great combination for you
yeah.
because they need something like that. Like the rodeo needs something to separate them from the old ways to the new ways. So I think it's a dope thing. I see you did something. You talked about Western wear essentials. So for someone who's not in the cowboy lifestyle, they've seen Beyonce, they're really into it now. They want to dress the right way. What are some of the key essentials they need to have to really, rock the cowboy look the right way?
Oh man, I mean, let's just talk about just some key essential items that you need to
Okay.
have. The first thing is that you gotta have a good hat. You
Okay.
gotta have a good hat.
Yeah.
I mean, that's key. Now, you don't always have to have the most expensive hat. There are affordable hats. You ain't gotta go straight to Stetson.
Right.
But you can get you a good hat. I mean, there are a lot of different hat brands out there. and they all go by X's. So you got like 3X hat, 6X hat, 12X. The higher the X, the higher the quality.
Oh, okay. So it's
So
not a size thing; it's a quality thing. All right.
there you go. There you go. So ultimately, a good hat. And of course, you gotta know when to wear your hat. So right now, we're about to go into spring. So
Okay.
spring is straw hat season.
Okay.
So the fall is your felt hat season. You can wear felts year round, but you kind of break it up. So I would say a good hat for sure. And of
Okay.
course, I'm just give you two. The last one is a good boot. You gotta have a good boot. And now there are all different types of boots. You got your pointy toe, your square toes. You know, it just kind of depends on what it is that you're wearing and the style that you're wearing it at the moment. You know, if you dress it up, you might want to do a little more round or pointed, depending on your style.
Yeah.
But if you got your casual boots, a lot of people wear your square toe. So it just kind of depends on your personal style and preference. But a good boot and a good hat is a good starting point or two key essential
Okay.
items to keep in your wardrobe Western.
So I have a lot of friends that have clothing lines, and what we would do is we have like a custom T-shirt, but then we would show what the Jordan lays with that shirt or what fit it had. Do you ever do that with yours, where I can come get your wear, but then you have the right shoe combination to go with the right hat, so people are not mix matching them? Or have you thought about doing a combination line where you're offering all the stuff at one time instead of having to piece it out like that?
That's a good question. I have a lot of clients, custom clients. I do that with that I style personally, but
Okay.
I haven't yet done it for my brand. You
Yeah.
know, so this year for B Stone, what we're focusing on is our individual collections, so we can start just really showing the people what we really have to offer individually with our separate pieces, right? For the first year, we really focused on customs.
Okay.
So a lot of people come to us if they want custom garments. So if you're going somewhere special, like right now, I am submerged in Cowboy Carter
Yeah.
orders.
Yeah, because
It's
everybody's
great.
ready for the tour.
So, but in the mix of that, I'm also getting ready to drop our really first collection. Besides, like some of our essentials that we offer on our site, but we're getting ready to just really be consistent with really giving our audience those big essential items. So, absolutely, we're going to be doing that soon.
Now, I know you said you do a lot of customization. What's the process if I want to have you customize? Say there's a rodeo coming up, or no, like you said, Beyonce tour is coming to Las
Yeah,
Vegas. My wife's
yeah.
already telling me about it. So in August, she's going to be in Vegas. So how much of a notice does it take? And what's the process look like to do a customization through you?
Well, typically on my Instagram or through our site, it'll have the tab
Okay.
custom consultation. So typically, anyone who's interested will set up a consultation with us. My turnaround times are pretty quick. It just really depends on what you're wanting.
Okay.
It can take me anywhere from a week to 2 weeks,
Oh, that's not bad.
or from I can do something in a week, or I can do something that takes me 4 weeks. It just kind of depends on the detailing or how much detail that you want.
Is that international? Do they have to be in the Houston area, or are they going and getting
No,
size and sending you the
oh
sizes
no,
and all that? Okay.
oh no. My clients are from all over the world,
Okay.
and so ultimately, um, I give them a size chart, and we kind of go by you know that size chart. Or if you don't know your measurements, if you just tell me your pant size or your regular shirt size, I can go off of that.
So with you being from Houston, have you or anybody on the team reached out to Beyonce with the Cowboy Carter tour about to happen? It makes a no-brainer for
Right.
me to say do the B Stone lineup, even if they don't officially endorse it. Just you start pushing it as you want to look like Beyonce on this concert, well, come get the official Western wear for that look. Like there's so many ways, but I think you could also get Beyonce behind what you're doing because she loves the Black entrepreneur. She loves women that are doing some dope stuff. So it makes sense to me if you guys haven't tried it yet to reach out on that.
Absolutely. So I did say, I want to definitely send some stuff to our stylist, just some sketches, just throw it out there,
Yeah.
But when it comes to creating for clients that want to go, I really have not promoted it yet. And the reason why is because soon as she dropped that she was going on tour, my DMs blew up. So it's like they come in every day.
Yeah.
And so I haven't promoted because I'm like, I don't want to get crazy.
Yeah, you don't want no more work. There you go. Yeah, let's talk about it as an entrepreneur a little bit. Your dream is to get something where people want it, and then the nightmare is now they want it, and you got 1,000 orders to fill. Like, how do you deal with the stress of having a successful business now, and people are, like you said, blowing you up because they want to be ready for the concerts and stuff like that?
Yes, and so far I've just been taking it as it comes, but how I deal with it is really time management. I'm a full-time mom, as you see.
Yeah.
I still work a full-time job outside of B Stone.
Okay.
So I work 2 jobs. 3 jobs. I'm a mother, so 3 jobs. It's like it's crazy, but time management and not overwhelming myself. Now I do have a team that is behind me that helps me. So my team really helps me stay grounded. And what I've learned, but I didn't always have a team though. I had to get there. And so I just recently got a team because I saw the influx and the demand, and I can't do everything by myself.
Yeah.
But really, what helps me is time management.
Who are some of the team members that you've added, and how did you pick them out? Like, I'm sure by now you're getting everybody and their mama wanting to help you in some way. So how did you decide who you wanted to add to the team?
Oh, that's a good question. You're asking all the right questions. Let's see. Well, yes. So when you start out something, a lot of people really don't believe in it.
Yep.
Until it started having motion and moving, right? Yep. And I just really pray about discernment. Yeah. That when people come to me with different opportunities or different things, that it's the right people. So to me, to be honest, a lot of the people that's on my team are the people who started with me.
Love it.
As I started to grow, these are people when I didn't have the money to pay them, that they worked for free. Yep. These are people that when I didn't have the money to, really pay them what they were worth, they worked at a minimum price until I did have the money.
Yeah, because they believed in you. Yeah.
Because they believed in my brand, they believed in me. So that's how my team was built. It was built off the backs of people who believed in my brand when I didn't even have a following, or when I was growing, I didn't really have any customers, when I just had a vision.
That's amazing. I'm a marketer by trade, so I'm over here running my ideas. Like, you got your ladies, they start taking pictures of the B Stone lineup that they're gonna wear to the Beyonce tour. You start tagging her everywhere she looks is a new look for that, or you get it to where anybody who's going to the tour hashtag your brand, tag you, so you can show it, and it becomes the B Stone army of the Beyonce, concert. Like, even if you can't get, there's ways to do what you're doing, and it's really dope. We've highlighted a few of your highlights that I found. What's a highlight to you that we didn't mention that stands out to you from your career?
Well, from the tour?
Just in general, since you've been doing your own clothing, doing all these designs, what's a highlight to you?
Okay, when you say a highlight, in regards to what exactly?
So from either your clothing line or just anything in your career as being an entrepreneur.
So, I mean, I think I've had a lot of highlights. I remember I would say the first. I would just start with the most memorable one, and that was before I had Be Stone, before my journey of designing for HBCUs.
Yeah.
I owned a dance studio in
Yeah.
the community, and I taught kids in low income areas
Oh,
the
fire.
art of dance.
Wow.
And I mean, I started with 150 kids, and from there, um, maybe 40 really signed up. They took it serious. So I was recruiting kids, and a lot of kids signed up at the dance competition. But when I started to say, okay, well, this is what it's going to look like,
Yeah.
I had 40 solid individuals, and someone nominated me for what I was doing in the community. Someone nominated me in the local news
Yeah.
about a woman that was making a difference. I would never forget this.
Yeah.
Um, and the kids just learned so much. I mean, not only did they learn the art of dance, they learned discipline. They learned um, they learned how to be a better dancer, but not only just be a better dancer, but be better people.
Yeah. The
And
possibilities that are out there. Yeah.
yes, I mean the doors are open. You know, I taught them that dance is not just about an 8 count. It's
Right.
a way of life.
Yep.
And it's so many opportunities out there if you just really hone in on your craft and take it serious. And so, I mean, my dancers went off to be a part of, oh man, different university teams or
Awesome.
different artists. I mean, it's just been amazing to watch. And I started my first dance. Well, I started that studio when I was 19 years old.
Wow.
So I'm 31 now.
Yeah.
So my journey as an entrepreneur started at a very young age, and I just learned to keep going no matter what. And I'm a person I'm very passionate about what I do. So if I'm gonna get up every day, I want to do
Indeed.
something that I love.
Yeah.
So I take that into any avenue that I walk in, whether that's design, whether that's dance, you know, it just doesn't matter. I want to do what I love to do.
I want to salute you on that because a lot of times people get so caught up in success and wanting to be rich, they forget about the kids and all that. So by you giving those kids that opportunity, it was 40 of them that you changed their life. Like you said, because they did what you did and you taught them, they were able to go to college or they were able to get with artists. So you created a dope opportunity for them. Do you have any advice for someone who wants to get into creating
Really.
clothing or creating their own store? What advice would you give them today? Did it break? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people do forget about, you know, the community. That's where it starts. That's your foundation, where you grow up.
Yeah.
And I was so happy to do that. And I did it for a very long time. And if it wasn't for that, I don't think I ever would have found design.
Oh, wow.
I did it with my kids. I started with them in their dance uniforms. Because the person of the do have these expensive uniforms. So I look at this full circle that led me learn that.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, I
Yes,
see you have your son in the interview. How important is your family and to what you're doing, and how do you balance the two between your work, your job, your family? How do you balance all these? Um,
oh man, my son is 2.
yeah,
So he's still a baby. And I you gotta choose.
yeah,
You do. You
yeah.
you had to make sacrifices. So I personally choose to make the sacrifices now while he's young so I can have more time a little bit later. it's, he understands, but he still doesn't really understand, you know.
Right.
But I am making the sacrifices now for him, and you as an entrepreneur, as a person that, even if not even an entrepreneur, even if you're working full time and you spend time away from your kids, you get guilty. Like, you feel guilty when you're away and you miss them when you're gone and things like that. But you have to create a better life for them. You have to let them see that this is what it takes.
Yeah, facts. Yeah,
So
see that
you
work.
just have to make those sacrifices. But that doesn't mean you don't love them. Doesn't mean that you might miss some moments. But I'm sacrificing the moments now so I can have greater moments later.
Yeah, facts. And then, what do you want to say to your fans and supporters who've been rocking with you over these years?
Oh man, thank you so much for supporting B Stone. Thank you for, any inquiry, any purchase, any post, any repost, any tag. Just thank you so much. Your support goes a long way. I created B Stone to really be a voice for a community that didn't have one.
Yeah.
I really am excited to continue to push, Western culture, Western fashion, and really, I'm excited to see where it grows. It's just amazing what's happening. So let's keep doing it. Let's keep pushing the culture. Let's keep talking about it. Let's keep supporting it. So thank you guys. I love you guys.
And then, do you have any drops or have any releases, anything where people can be looking out on the calendar for you to make sure they tune in?
Absolutely. I am this month. I'm dropping an exclusive collector's item. There's
Okay.
some custom pants. You guys are gonna love them. They're amazing. In April, I'm dropping our first sets that comes with a cowboy hat, top, and jeans. So we're so excited about that.
And then where can people go to follow you? I know you're Instagram, but do you have a
Yes.
website, a store site?
Yes.
Where can they go to find all this
Yes.
dope merchandise?
Yes. So definitely you can find us, of course, on Instagram at Stone Western. And then you can find us online at bstonewestern.com.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your time tonight, and I hope you have a great night.
Thank you so much. You were great.
Thank you. Salute.
Yes.